Welcome, everybody, to Central PA Pour, our episode 17. This will be our conclusion for our first season, our wrap-up. And introducing myself, I'm Kevin.
I'm David.
And I'm Brett.
I'm Ben.
And as Kevin did a great job of introducing us, this is our Season 1 wrap-up, episode 17. So, guys, we did a lot with a little idea that we had. So what do you guys think? I mean, give me some input of what we've learned these last few months.
Well,
Patience.
yeah. Sure.
We've seen a lot of stuff, believe me.
Yeah, we have.
We've seen a lot of area.
Seen a lot of new stuff and learned a lot of new things about this industry, but a lot of the common themes across of it, no matter the size of the operation that we visited.
Like kindness.
Yeah.
Helping each other.
Helping out your neighbor, I believe somebody phrased it.
Yeah, I tell you what, I never thought the idea that I had when we started this little venture, taking our beer drinking nights and making a podcast about it, and none of us have had any experience doing it. We've kind of learned as we went.
That we have. There is a lot of great resources out there. A lot of great people out there.
Yeah.
And we have encountered all of that.
Oh, my gosh.
On our journey so far.
I think we've only scratched a little bit of the surface on the central PA area as far as craft industry, as far as that goes. But we've learned how we went. If you look at some of our the first couple that we did, just the four of us sitting in over at Kevin's house, we've come a long way. I think we've gotten pretty good at it.
We got a favorite moment for you guys over there? Favorite moment, favorite guest, anything of the sort?
No, I think they're all good. They're all unique.
It's a good point. They're unique.
I'm an old miserable son of a bitch, and nobody pissed me off. No, I'm kidding.
Only us, probably.
Yeah. No.
Oh, we've had several of those episodes, haven't we?
No,
where we were all mad at each other.
Simply thanks for the ones, we had a couple of bloopers there, so thank you for those customer or clients that allowed us to come back. The sky's the limit, like I got to hold my end of the bargain a little bit and get some more people to cross the waterway.
Yeah, across the river. We have yet to really get any of the Lancaster area on so far. Yeah. We haven't gotten there, but we've got contacts that we are working on.
We are really building a network, which is awesome.
Yeah, I think that's as far as you're asking about the best moments. I think we already touched on some. It's just the contacts we're meeting, but for me, it's just the way this industry is, and like you had said that the camaraderie and the people that are involved and the stories behind it. I mean, that's what we're finding is the most interesting, and there are some common themes with the stories that. Especially through the COVID and all the shutdown and stuff, how they survived. However, I just think they all have come up with their unique way, and every one that we've had on has been unique.
Yeah,
they've got unique stories, kind of like us. We're unique, but
we've even had help from other podcasters.
we've
all the way.
Yeah,
shout out to Tony.
Yeah, Tony at Bangin' Beers podcast. So yeah, thanks to him. We give him a little shout out because he's helped us ship. And that one night he spent how long were we on the freaking call with him?
Probably close to 90 minutes, I'd say.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
I mean he's been awesome, and he did reach out to me, and we definitely need to do some of that cross.
He said that right online. Yeah.
Yep, we do some cross interviews across the line.
We'll have to get him lined up. Shout out to his other stuff too. Got Tornado Tag podcast, which is awesome. He's really diving into that.
Oh my gosh, he's really dove into that. I mean,
that's awesome shit, dude.
He's like a ringside announcer for that.
Seriously,
too, so that's pretty cool. Yeah. Do you think we could become a tag team?
How do you say it? I'd like to wrestle me some of those women. He's like,
break.
Dave, what's some of yours? You haven't really said a whole lot.
No, I haven't. I was listening to you two guys. Sometimes, no, there's a lot of interesting places we went. That's the big thing for me. I enjoyed going out and visiting the breweries when we set up, and walking through and seeing some of the things that they do, and learning how the different brewers approach brewing differently. And it's kind of interesting, and I enjoyed that, and we visited quite a few of those, and I like that's a part I like. There's a couple of ideas that I have in the back of my head, but I don't know. They may not be feasible. So, but
Well, so since we are wrapping up season 1, we've kind of went out to these places and set up. Took pretty much a whole afternoon to do it. We are revamping what we're going to do in the future going forward and how we're going to go about it. So we're look for those future episodes. We already got some guests locked in, lined up, working on a bunch more. So we're hoping to continue to grow this. And I think I was talking to you earlier today, Ben. This past weekend, I was up with my wife in Carlisle for her I won't even say how many years, but class reunion. And we got a couple subscribers just from me talking to them. And I think we're at 71?
On YouTube.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
So we need 29 more to get that, magical 100 for, what's that? We get some special
It's
stuff
just,
with.
Yeah, some different shit you unlock on YouTube. You get to add some chapters in there. I think you might be able to customize your channel a little bit more. But yeah,
so,
just we appreciate everybody continuing to help us grow.
Yeah, so tell everybody where they can find us, Ben, not just on YouTube, but where else?
We are at Central PA Pour on all social media and on anywhere you can get your podcast, really.
All the listening platforms, and you email at centralpapour@gmail.com.
Yep. I don't want to keep reiterating what the hell the link tree is, but wherever you find us, you can find that link tree, and we got some exciting stuff coming for that link tree. So whether you're a guest, future guest, you want to listen, whatever you want to do, check out the link tree, check out our social platforms. Please like and share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We appreciate all of it.
Yeah, spread the word. We need 29 more to reach that magical 100. So
Absolutely.
we're not going to go all out and say we want 1,000, but we want 100 right now.
Milestones.
Baby steps. And speaking of, compared to what we did, we talked for maybe a month and a half on how to go about doing this little shindig before we actually set up over at Kevin's house and did our first recording. It was definitely a learning experience for all of us.
Yeah.
From stupid idea that I had. And here we are sitting 17 episodes in and hopefully for a lot more. Guys, I'm getting a little parched. What do you think?
Absolutely.
So what's going to be our first tasting there, Mr. Ben?
Our first tasting is Pivot Parts Mosaic from Haymauer Brewing Company in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. And I tried to set you guys up earlier, ask about your favorite moments so that you'd return the favor and ask about mine, but nobody did. So,
well, we're going to get there. We're not done talking about all this shit, man.
It's no. Go ahead, Dave.
No, I was just going to say that we did that on purpose because we wanted to feature your favorite.
There we go.
Moments
What's that called?
After
That's called. Oh, excuse me, sir. No, no banging on the table.
Oh, no, I was doing a drum roll, brother.
yeah, we just wanted to feature you after we did our first tasting.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, we're not done talking about all
I'm
this
just
stuff.
going to go ahead and say it's no coincidence that the beer that I bought to feature is from Haymauer, honestly, because our interactions with Brooks has been some of my favorites so far. Really,
He's been awesome.
he's been great, and I believe it was our first time recording at somebody's establishment, right?
Exactly, and that was because of some of our earlier mess ups that we've had.
Yeah, I mean,
in our learning experience.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he was patient with us. He was more than polite, and he was awesome. He was great with us as we jumped off the deep end and we brought all of our shit to his establishment. And not only that, but I mean the story behind the passion and the drive that him and his wife have in their businesses.
Beer and boudoir,
and the awesome beer. Yeah, that's no coincidence that.
And we have yet to take him up on his offer about having us up to his brew house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
that's short. That's true as well.
We have a lot of offers on our table from our previous guests.
We really do, and it's great. And everybody has been polite again. So
Yeah.
so let's get into this number one here.
Yeah, so Pivot Parts Mosaic.
So what he does here is he has a rotating IPA series, and each beer features one specific hop, and this one is Mosaic. So brewer's notes here: Pivot Parts is our ever-changing IPA series. This version we focus on Mosaic hops. This hop is most noted for its blueberry and tropical aromas, but is also known to have citrus, grassy, pine, spice, tangerine, papaya, rose, earthy, floral blossoms, and bubblegum descriptors. It is 7.5% ABV with a 32 IBU, 58 check-ins on Untapped with an average rating of 4.0.
Cheers. So this is Pivot Parts Mosaic from Haymauer. I tell you what, I do get some of that piney, earthy aroma out of that Mosaic hop.
Yeah, you could taste the pine.
Yep.
You definitely taste the pine.
This series is great because, so many times I see like 4 hops listed on a can, and I don't know what I'm tasting. But now this is literally how I'm going to know.
And I think
When I can feel that Mosaic.
I think that's one of the things we've all 4 learned. Like, okay, just our last episode with Liquid Hero, lupulin.
Yep.
Remember we first had lupulin was on our first episode. We didn't know how we were saying it. We didn't know what the fuck it was.
I thought it was one of the guys from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. But
Might as well have been.
But we've learned that what lupulin is, what hops basically bring to the palate, and how each one is different. So Kevin, what are you thinking on this? And Dave, you're the same way.
yeah, actually, it's pretty good. For someone who is, I'm not an IPA guy. I'm not big on hoppy beers, but this isn't bad. Like I said, I've had a lot of hoppy beers that were bad, and
Yep.
I have a tendency to prejudge a lot of times when someone hands me an IPA. So then I just sort of have to take a sip and be non-judgmental is what I should do.
Right, and I think we've mentioned that, when we do judge a beer, it's just our personal preference. It's not a knock against the brewers or anybody else. It's our personal preference.
Right.
And we're not the 10 Commandments knocked in stone. So this is just what we think. And and we'll mention that when our ratings. It's just like if we give it a lower rating than normal, we're saying it's just not my beer.
No, this is good. This is good though. You can tell, like, not just Brooks, but across the whole spectrum of the things that we've tried, the guests that we've had on. All these are very drinkable beers.
They
it's
are
just a
very.
matter of fact if it hits what you're looking for or not. And this one,
This is right up
my alley.
I'm gonna say this is right up your alley.
It's tasty. It's a very tasty beer.
And
But on the other side of the coin, I'm not going to buy a 6-pack and drink them in one night.
No.
I probably wouldn't do that.
so I do get that earthiness, the pininess out of it. I do get some of the citrus notes that he's talking about. I don't get any bubble gum.
Or blueberry. Yeah.
However,
That's a hell of a description.
yeah, it is. However, it doesn't sit bad on the palate. I mean, it's not like a bad aftertaste on some of these. And you had mentioned one of our earlier episodes, Kevin, about I like the West Coast, which is a real dry, hoppy, piney, grapefruity IPA compared to something like this.
Well, if I'd have spoken, before Dave, I probably would have said it tasted like tree bark and burnt tires.
Burnt tires. I mean, tree bark. All right, that's in the ballpark.
but
I've never tried a burnt tire.
but you just hit it. The longer it sits on the palate, the smoother
Yeah,
it is.
it's not a bad aftertaste.
And again, like you said, there's nothing against the company, but it's not for me. But it's good.
Yeah.
It is good.
I'm going to give it like a 3.5 for me, and that's pretty good on my IPA level.
Is that 305 or 35?
3.5.
Okay.
So I'm waiting for you guys to give me, how we were starting at the beginning, 3, 5, 2, 6, 7.
Yeah.
So I'm giving that one a 3.5. So good job, Brooks.
Yes.
He also has another series he does called the Garage Series or something. I think he does. It's experimental stuff where he'll do some of the small batch experimental stuff, and then if it does well, he releases it. But yeah, I'm with you, Ben. I think Brooks has been outstanding. Tim March, which was our first guest.
Yep.
And I know we're going to reevaluate and go forward on our recordings of how we're going to do this, but I think we owe it to Tim to go to Stony Run to do a full recording.
Yeah,
Right.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been a very good friend.
That's probably my favorite right there.
Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a swing in the dark for us because it's like, all right, we did 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And we're like, I got a guess, so we do it. Should we do it? Should we do it? Yeah, we're gonna do it.
Because initially it was Ben and I got to go live every time, and Dave didn't care to go live at all.
No,
Until,
not the way
like-
we were stumbling around in the dark. I mean, for crying out loud. What do you expect?
I think we had it written down to go live in like 2084 or something like that. but we jumped into it. And
We
was
did.
good.
And we've learned how we
Yeah.
we learned as we went. We've made mistakes, and I'll be the first to say it. The biggest one was after sitting down here in our recording studio. An hour into it, we had no audio. And I know we stopped mentioning some of our growing pains, but that was a major growing pain that I think we all learned from, especially me. And then that's where we come up with the idea of doing what we're doing. So I think it's great. I hope this continues to grow, and we're going to count on our audience to grow it and help us grow it, and our guests to help us grow that as well. It's the biggest thing we ask. We're doing this just because we love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we're not making anything on this yet. We're working on some merchandise.
I
trying
tell you what, I haven't heard that catchphrase in about 8 or 9 episodes, Brett.
What's that?
Oh, you don't remember? You don't know what I'm talking about? Oh, it'll hit you eventually. Then you can say.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I'll be.
You don't remember that? Oh, man.
Brett, I'm gonna make you famous.
Oh yeah.
Is that it?
That's the catchphrase I started with.
That's it.
Yeah. It's been a year now. No one still doesn't know who I am.
Guess what? Guess what? Yesterday afternoon, I was sitting here just taking a break, and I was flipping through the channels. Sally didn't want anything. I'm like, "Ooh, Young Guns is on."
Yeah. Should have recorded the phrase.
Well, that was in Young Guns too, but Sally just rolled her eyes like, "Oh crap." But I'm like, "Oh, I said we got to the part in Young Guns where they were doing the peyote. Have you guys remember that scene? Of course,
Never
this
seen
is
it.
this
Never
is
seen it.
before Ben's. Oh my gosh, Ben!
Never seen it.
Yeah.
It was Dylan McDermott playing Dirty Steve, and they did the peyote, and he comes out of that freaking cave shooting his double sawed-off shotgun. And said, "Did you see the size of that cockle-doodle-doo? Boom!" I freaking lost it again. I'm sorry. It's a great movie. Ben, you got to check it out, Young Guns.
Oh, God.
It's a lot of actors that,
Is it on Netflix?
yeah, you can find it on Netflix or Hulu or whatever, but
Hulu.
Hulu.
You find it on the public domain channel.
At least I'm not even going to say it. I'm just going to keep that comment to myself.
So season 2. What's going on in season 2? Any hints?
Well,
any
my
ideas?
flyer. I made a flyer last week, and if you've had a chance to check it out, awesome.
Saw it.
Basically, as Brett said, we're kind of changing gears. you know?
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
So we'd like to continue visiting the establishments that we're building relationships with, and we are going to continue to do a virtual tour type of deal that we're going to have on our YouTube very soon. After that, we are going to a entirely virtual platform, or we'd like to have our guests come to our studio here
And
at the
record here.
Essex Home Brew Works studio. And then from there, basically, we just like to build out our platform that way. As Brett stated earlier, we love the relationships that we've built. However, all of us have other things going on. We're not making money on this. Those 4 or 5 hour trips started to add up, and by any means, I'm not complaining because there's
No.
a lot of worse shit going on in the world. But we're just trying to make this thing more efficient. I think is what one of the bottom lines
And
started to be.
Yeah, we're not being negative about it. We're not only taking up our time, we're taking up their time.
But to make it efficient, we're asking all of our
Yeah.
guests to make sure they share.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. When we had guests that shared, our numbers went way up.
Yep.
That is a fact.
Yeah. So when you share our stuff that we do, like, so if we bring you in and we do a recording, we just ask that you just help promote it and share it on your platforms, and and say, hey, this was great. I think one of my favorite comments was from Jeff Lau from Mudhook.
I know you're going.
It took forever for me to lock him down to do this because this isn't his forte. He doesn't like to do this in front of a camera. But before we ended that recording with our cheers beer, remember what he said? He said, before you guys end, I want to cheers to you guys.
Yeah.
What you guys are doing is great. And he thanked us. I mean, I saw the tensity when we sat down with him, but he really loosened up, especially talking about the marbles game and all the stuff that goes on at Mudhook. And, if we get to go back into downtown for New Year's Eve this year, if they frickin' have it,
Yes.
we're going to Mudhook. I want to see Jeff do that frickin' New Year's drop off the top with
yeah.
his Cherry Lane Belgian.
They just had their sand party, their beach party.
Yeah, I shared that on our social.
Mom and I walked by there,
Cool.
and it was so funny because it was early. We just did a run, went out for breakfast.
That's a lot of fucking sand to move.
And I tried to get her to play cornhole, and she wouldn't do it. She's like, "No, we'll get in trouble. They're not open yet."
I mean, you could just say, I know somebody.
I know somebody.
To Brett's point, I mean, a lot of these people are probably getting grilled by some, organization that's trying to what word am I trying to legislate or something, make sure they're following all the laws, or just straight up media. And we're trying to come in at a different angle with this, We're trying to get to know these people, get to know what they're doing and what their awesome places have to offer.
And I think when we started this, our initial discussions before we even sat down and sat in front of a camera, we decided we were different. We're three different generations sitting at this table with four different outlooks on perspectives. But the other thing is, we wanted to get to where we had guests on every episode. And I think that's what makes us different than some of the other podcasts out there, because it isn't just the four of us. Who wants to sit down and listen to four of us shoot the shit and drink beer and get drunk?
I don't.
We can do that every day. But I think what we did is we accomplished what we wanted to do. And I think if we maintain that, we're going to grow this. And we dabbled in some of the live. We dabbled in that a little bit. And I think that's where we're going to really need to grow, is when we start doing live, and we're going to reevaluate that and get back active at it after Labor Day.
Yep.
Because
this will be out right around then.
Yeah, the summer is slowing down for all four of us. Dave, you're retired. Your summer is endless.
Sure.
I'm going to Cali.
But we're going to do and be consistent about some live episodes. So look for that. So to answer your question, Kev, yeah, that's what we've discussed for season 2.
Yep.
And like Ben said, we've changed our platform and how we're going to do this, and we're going to continue to grow this, meet new people, and have fun doing it. I mean, this is what we started to do, and it's because it's a passion we all four have. We enjoy the good beer, the good atmospheres, and the people that we're meeting.
Yeah, just the company. Yeah.
I mean, we've made some hellish connections.
Yeah.
People I got in my speed dial, I can call them up and say, "Hey, what do you got going on? We can come up."
Let's go back to our guest we just spoke about. He hooked us up at the end of the podcast with another guest.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
Yeah. I mean, offering brewing equipment up, all kind of shit.
Yeah, so this has been great. I reached out to Tim and Rod from Back Porch, one of our more recent episodes, and we're going to get Molly Pitcher hooked in. So we're looking forward to that. And as far as older breweries, I think Molly Pitcher has been around a lot longer than some of the ones that we've been talking about.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. And since we posted this flyer last week, I think we had 2 people reach out. And
2 people already?
2 people interested, and we're looking to get them on the books here soon. So
Yeah, so
stay tuned.
Yeah, so this is hopefully to grow, but again, it continues on our listening audience
Yeah.
and spreading the word. We're looking at getting some more, like maybe a business card if we're out, because we looked into the coaster idea and it didn't work out. But Dave had an idea. We're going to do some kind of giveaway.
I like that.
I think that was a great idea. And I think what we're going to look at is one of those insulated crowlers with an engrave of our logo on it. And we'll figure out the giveaways. So look forward to that coming up here in the near future. Check our social platforms on that and how you can get in on that.
It's an expensive growler.
Yeah, it's a little expensive.
We're gonna have to.
It's a
they're
little
gonna have-
pricey.
They're gonna have to earn it.
Yeah,
They're going to have to
it's
earn
a
it.
little pricey.
We got stickers, so we're going to be looking at distributing stickers as well.
Yeah.
3 different logo designs we've come up with. 3. We've taken the original painting from one of Kevin's friends,
Yep.
and she did a great job. But we've expanded on that and made it really good, and we got different logos for our merch that Ben's working on. And once we have the logos readily available for with vectoring that we can print, we'll have some merch available. And I think we've talked about when we sat down our last meeting, we're going to all get logoed shirts. So when we walk into a place, we're going to look fucking professional.
Dude, speak for yourself, man.
Dave and I all look dapper.
I'm gonna have Crocs and a cutoff on with the CPP logo. On my...
As long as the belly ain't hanging out.
I got me nipples pierced and little hangers, little flags.
You would at the work, though. I mean,
He works from home. We're in the car. Shit, he's been traveling a lot, so things have changed. I mean,
Things have changed.
Kevin got a new job. I mean, Dave's still retired. Still doesn't have any time. But yeah, I mean, Kevin, you got a new job. You've been traveling. You've been overseas, and
Yeah.
you had mentioned in one of the episodes we got something that they brought up in Germany about us brewing.
Yeah, we've got, it's in October.
Shit, we're out of time for that now.
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
Unless we can send over what we're going to taste here later on, one of our
Well,
kits.
our distillery friends in Gettysburg, I'm going to get another bottle from him. Basically, we have the world's largest precast show coming up, and it's called Bauma in Germany. And everybody from throughout the world brings something special. And I spoke to them about, actually, they wanted me to bring the beer that, we're making. So,
Well, we got that. We got one that we're going to be sampling here in our third tasting that you can take over, and you could tell them, hey, we brewed this from all grain. It was our own recipe. They don't have to know a difference.
right.
Because I will tell you when we get to it, we've had it already.
yeah.
That's pretty good. It's a pretty good beer. I've had people tell me it's a good beer. And we might, who knows, we might end up like Tim and Rod's, like, where can I buy this?
Yeah.
Essex Home Brew Works becomes Essex Brew Works
Yeah.
with the help of Tim March and Bailey's Home Brew Supplies.
We're just waiting.
Shout out. Check.
There you go.
Just waiting on Dave to buy the lot behind your house.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, don't you have all the money in the world? You're retired?
Oh, yeah. But I'm on an allowance.
You're on an allowance.
Yeah.
Is that from the better half?
Yeah.
So, Ben, you've had some changes too this summer.
Oh yeah, yep. March, I think we decided to sell our house.
What the fuck made
market-
you do that?
Market was booming. I tell you what made you do that. We bought a 2-bedroom house in 2019. A couple months later, my wife got her dream dog for a large undisclosed amount of money. 2 days later, she absolutely hated this puppy. 2 days after that, she took a pregnancy test. So we filled up that damn house pretty quickly with a 80-pound Bernedoodle and a sweet little baby girl that's almost 2 years old now.
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah,
You outgrew
and
it.
all the market, we outgrew the place and moved into a new house in July. Unfortunately, it was a great summer. That's winding down. We signed over the papers in July, and we went on 2 vacations with our awesome families, and we've only been there for maybe 4 out of the 7 weeks that we've owned the place. So, looking forward to continuing our unpacking process and
Oh, boy.
and making the house a home. But it's a It's a great situation
Yeah,
for
I'll
the
tell
family.
you one thing.
so.
I've been in this house since 1999. There's still shit in my attic that I haven't unpacked.
We're getting there. We're getting there. And hell, I got a full basement now, so I'm
Huge.
working on the bar.
Yeah.
But
Nice little poker room.
You lost your big garage with the little gathering place above it too.
I
right?
did. But hey, I never ended up using the damn thing in the last house.
Only
but
when your drinking buddies come over.
yeah, pretty much. But hey, we'll get it figured out. This new spot.
Yeah, so that's great, man. I mean, kudos to you with the new home, and I mean, it's a big thing. So we did have a couple times this summer where we didn't release every 2 weeks, but when we started this, we said twice a month, which we've kept to. We've kept to that recording area. So we've had some delays and some spans between releases, but we kept to our twice a month, which we had talked about. Dave, what did you have exciting this past summer?
You got a new pool, didn't you?
Yeah.
You got a
I was
pool.
going to mention the pool, but I don't know how exciting it is.
I don't know. You've had us over several times.
Yeah, it's nice. I haven't had Ben over yet, so we were going to invite you, and then I thought about it. But anyway,
He made me pay. I had to pay the other night.
Oh yeah, entry fees.
He was right at the gate. I had to pay.
but yeah, another maintenance project. As if I don't need it. The house is enough, but to add another pool, it's to add a pool to that. Yeah,
It's some kind of
keeps you
swim-
busy. It's a
it's a
swim spa. is
swim
what it is.
spa.
It's a swim spa. It's not actually. They call it. Well, the problem is, I was in the mind of putting when we put it in, it's a jacuzzi. Okay. However, when we went to get all the paperwork and the permits and all the garbage that goes along with it, they said it's not a jacuzzi. They said it's a pool.
Oh, so you got to have like fencing.
You
or,
have
like-
to have all the regulations of a pool to put this thing in. And boy, I tell you what, that was
It looks like what that is. That's a money grab because
Yeah, I
it
think it
looks
is.
like a fucking jacuzzi.
just if you take two jacuzzis and put them together, that's what you would
It's
have.
just an oversized jacuzzi.
So
So we were hoping when you said that you and Sandy were getting a pool because
Oh.
Kevin took his out. We were hoping we would get another pool we can go float.
no,
But the problem is with your jacuzzi,
yeah,
one floaty in there and it's pretty full.
yeah.
No, but it is great. I mean, it's
I was kind of hoping we were going to do our last podcast there tonight.
Well, we could have.
Splash.
I'm not even going to say it. I'll keep that thought to myself till we're off air.
Probably a good idea. I don't know where he's going. But all right, Dave, you got us with beer number 2, man. I'm getting dry.
Yeah, let's get.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm still
We
sitting
got
here.
our second tasting is Riff Mountain from Southern County Brewing in York.
South County, not Southern.
Why does it says Southern in here? But it's actually penciled in. Never mind. I'm sorry. Thanks, Ben.
You're getting you're getting that Kevin's introduction, y'all.
Y'all. But anyway, it's got an 8.8% ABV, and what's this IBU of? No, it's got no IBU.
No IBUs.
No IBU. Sorry about that.
That
Yeah,
means it's probably because it's way be off the charts.
yeah. But this one here, it's just got 1,231 check-ins and an average of 4.15. And I'll read you the brewer's notes real quick here. This is a rotational double IPA series, mainly focusing on process technique and hop combinations. I can't read tonight. Within the New England IPA style. Each release will be numbered in the date code.
And I think we found it. This is Rift Mountain number 8.
Canned in
Yeah, so
822. Was that right?
622.
622. Oh shit, I'm getting
So-
old already. Forget.
Cheers.
cheers to Rift Mountain. I think it's number 8 is what we decided from South County.
6 of 22.
I tell you what, it's got a decent aroma.
Wow.
I like this one.
Wow.
What?
Oh, Ben, that reaction from you on an IPA. That's
We're
a double.
backwards. We're backwards
I
here.
was just looking at which hops are in this. I don't think they have the list.
No, they don't. This is It's a rotating series, I think it says, and they experiment with different hops. So every number is different. This is it's kind of juicy.
Yeah.
For a double IPA, it's really juicy. I don't think it's over. I mean, yeah, the hops are definitely prevalent.
Number 8.
You can taste
Yeah.
taste it.
Are you doing a check-in quick? Mm-hmm. Is number 8 listed?
Yeah.
Wow. So what do you got there, Ben?
This says 333 check-ins. This beer is an experiment in everything. I can't even pronounce this word. Thiols, Thiols.
We've run into that already.
We utilize phantasm powder.
Oh, Phantasm
There we
powder.
go.
We've
We're
had
back.
That's the first time for that one for me because
Yeah.
I missed that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
missed
did.
it.
Yeah.
So phantasm powder in the primary fermentation and a thiolized yeast strain. We taste notes of peach, melon, papaya, blanc wine, and mild dank hop undertones.
Well, the Blanc is going to come
Now-
from that Phantasm powder. That's like it's extracted from the grapes, but it's very drinkable.
Explain dank. Is that burnt tire that I'm tasting?
No, it's not what Sally used to call carpet mark beer.
See, this one, whatever hop maybe, I don't know. I got to start taking notes because I don't get that. And by no disrespect to anybody, but I don't get that burnt tire taste until
No.
the second. It's smooth. I get the burnt tire, and then it's like smooth again.
Yeah,
I like this one.
This is not bad.
It's not bad. I'm not going to rate it more than a 3.5, but I like it.
It does finish with that white wine
It
type.
does.
though.
It
And
does.
That's where that Phantasm powder comes in.
That's right.
Very strong aroma, though.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it does.
So if you listen, dank to me, I forget how they actually use dank in these explanations, but I get that kind of, I would call the aroma dank. It's kind of got a different aroma. I wouldn't say it's a very pleasing aroma, unless this is your style of beer that you always chase. But it's a drinkable beer. Again, Kev, I'm with you. Like a 3.5. That's pretty high on my IPA scale. It's very good. So kudos to South County incorporating Phantasm powder. The first time we did that was with one of the Fourscore beers.
Yeah, that was with the guys from DJs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sebastian and Doug. So yeah.
It's pretty good. Yeah, my apologies for calling it Southern County. It's not Southern. It's South County
Which is
Brewing in York.
if you haven't been there, it is a destination. It is a gorgeous facility. But they are known. I think they do a lot of more IPAs than most people do. They do have their Dark Thread Porter, which I truly enjoy, and they do other stuff once in a while. But this is pretty good. I have one of their experimentals up in the fridge as well. But I thought this Rift Mountain was good.
Didn't work.
Real good stuff.
I brought the word dank up.
So what's Google say about dank?
Did it just do it? I just put the word dank in. Disagreeably damp, musty, and typically cold. But that I don't think that relates to the beer. Dank,
Musty.
musty. That's
I would say probably musty is what they would consider dank.
Yeah, it's dark and dank. You've always heard those two terms brought together, dark and dank. So
Okay.
it's a dark.
Dark place, musty odor.
yeah.
But yeah, I do get it's a funky odor to it. But again, it's a very drinkable beer. Kudos with the different styles of hops and the way they incorporate them. The Phantasm powder is something we've learned during this process of what Phantasm powder was. We've also dived into some of our beer news with the cryo hops that are becoming popular. I think they're freeze dried hops that they're really, because it brings a whole different atmosphere of opens up different flavors and stuff when they do that. So
One of the coolest things with traveling, and Cindy saw it this last time when she went with me to the main route, is everybody's trying something so-called unique now. So they're taking the wines and trying to get them to a craft beer taste so they can open up that market. The beers are trying to get that winery taste.
yeah,
And I said before, when they were trying to do like a stout with a whatever the hell that was, an IPA or whatever. So they're just trying to mix things up, and it's amazing how some things are again, everybody's taste is different. So
Yep.
some things are so good, and then just some.
I was just telling somebody this past weekend. So you in one of our new brewery segments, Ben, you mentioned Shy Bear. That's going to be opening 2 tap rooms, one in Altoona and one in Hershey. So I ventured to Shy Bear this past week on a motorcycle ride.
No.
It is a cool place. I definitely would recommend if you're up in Lewistown area to venture out to Shy Bear and take a venture out there. The food was phenomenal. I couldn't even eat the whole burger. Beer was definitely off the charts. But I was talking to the one guy that rode with me that there's only so many styles of beer, and what makes the craft beer industry, or even craft, we've had Yanni on from Mason Dixon, distillers, cideries. We're looking at doing that in wineries. You mentioned, there's only so many basic styles, but what you do as a craft is you take that style and you put your twist. You put your twist to it.
You blend them together. Yep.
Christian mentioned it best. We're going to brew what we like, and most brewers are like that. And I think Jason mentioned it like a chef. Why do I want to make something I don't like to eat?
Yeah.
So this is what some of the stories that we found doing this in season 1 is what makes these guys unique and how they got started, and stories from drinking too much beer and thought this would save us money to this is something that was a passion that they've had.
Yeah, for sure. 2 things came to my mind during this discussion. Number 1 being you got to keep up with the trends. You got to keep up with what pays the bills and what makes good business, And not only that, but some of this stuff, we've talked to a ton of passionate people, but some of this stuff, might get redundant. So, if something new comes across your table, you got to do your best to try to, you got to go out there, have fun and play with it, keep that fire burning and the passion.
Yeah.
If you notice with Liquid Hero, we brought up the word sour, and he's like, hell no.
Yeah.
And then as we got going, he's like, just exactly what you said. Well, you never know what the customers are going to like.
Yeah. And I think that's how they said lupulin.
Yeah.
They're lupa-yellin.
Lupulin.
Lupa Yellen, however, I still can't pronounce it right, even though they just described it to us in our last episode.
Yeah, he corrected us, actually.
Yeah. But that was a accidental.
Yeah.
And their customers loved it, so it's become one of their staples. And I think we found that with, like Kmauer does these pivot series. He does a garage series. South County does their experimental. Trogs does some scratch series.
Oh, yeah.
Evergreen. They all do different series. And what they find is what sells. And that's what they're going to brew. The brewer has an idea what they want to do, but the recipe can only go so far. If the customers don't like it, they're not going to brew it.
It's cool. It's cool because in some of the situations we've seen one person wear a dozen hats. They got to run the business. They got to do the beer and everything. And then one that just came to mind was Fat Bat.
Fat Bat. Oh, that was...
Kevin? Kevin was his name. Awesome dude. Yeah, hesitant to sit down with us just because he wasn't with the whole camera and microphone vibe.
Yeah.
But once we got to talk to him, man, found out he was an artist in more ways than one.
Dude,
you should see the artwork around this place. Dude sitting down on the canvas, throwing up awesome artwork that ended up on the cans. Yeah. Art, my favorite. Not only that, he's got the canvases all up over the place. And then, you might flip to the other side of the business, and see how things are run that way,
Yeah, so that was one of a story that I wanted to chase, because it was a female-owned brewery. And that's why we chased that story. But once we got there and sat down with them, Sandy and her and her husband and Kevin, that the story that we chased was much larger than what we chased. Kevin being an artist, and we asked where the Fat Bat came from, and it was from his pug dog laying on its back, and he said, "Oh, you look like a fat bat."
Yeah.
And he doesn't release a beer till he has the artwork released.
I think minus episode 1, because we were all scared shitless.
Yeah, we were. We were scared shitless.
So from 2 on, we were all chasing something that we all thought per brewer or per client. And it was totally wrong, or it was totally opposite, female owned. but then, you know, the whole story behind the female and
Yeah.
whatever else and the you know, it blew up.
The
And
stories.
It
yeah.
feeds in deeper because, you know,
absolutely.
in particular, Bad Story, they fed into more of a community outreach, you
Yeah.
know, as well. Yeah, they got a third of their menu gives back to a
Cancer,
fundraiser
yeah.
in some way or another, the Cancer Society, and
Local and
it's just
and
it's awesome shit.
it's been an awesome journey so far, and I can't wait to see where this little podcast of ours and our little idea goes, and how many more stories we can grow on. How many more connections can we make? How many more people can we bring to their table and not, you know, and our table at the same time? Yeah, our growth is exponential. You know, it's endless, and I'm hoping it continues.
Yeah.
You know, we've had a lot of guests on here. Winding Path was a that we just did recently,
Yeah.
2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We chased that because it was a female head brewer. To find
Right.
out she went to Germany to get her
Yeah.
certification, which was awesome, which was right up your alley because you've been to Germany, Kev.
Yeah.
These stories, it's just, and it's never ending. And, you know, if you are out and about and you get to some of these places, by all means, you know, check them out. You know, make it a spot to stop. You know, I was talking to a guy up there at Shiber, and he says, I was just taking my daughter back to school. She was getting ready to start school, and I just researched, this was on our way. I'm like, well, I'm going to stop. I'm like, he says, it's a great little place. I'm like, this is what these are all about.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and they don't have to be some big fancy $1 million destination.
No,
They could be a little hole in the wall brewery that is just phenomenal.
They typically have the best beer, the best food, and the best community
Yeah,
to talk with.
and they all dive into the community. We mentioned this from the get-go. You know, what we've learned is the community outreach and how they all. You'd mentioned it earlier in this episode. How their camaraderie.
Yeah.
They do a lot of collaborations. You know, and we found out early on, like, hey, one brewer will call up and say, hey, I'm running out. I'm low on this malt or this hop. And they'll help each other out. They're all trying to chase that same piece of the pie, but
Right.
they're all working together to make it better. And that's every industry. And I think it's great.
I'll tell you what, we're referencing a ton of stories, and if you don't have a clue what we're talking about, go out and find our stuff. We are at Central PA Pour, wherever you find your podcasts, wherever you're on social media. We got quite a library, guys, and it's been a fun journey. And with that, I think I am ready for beer number 3.
Well, we still got some
What do you
beer
think?
news. Well, let's get some beer news in
Oh,
here.
some news.
You're
Okay,
ready.
Go ahead.
So we got some beer news, and this is something we started referencing that we got some stuff going on. We've also, I know you and I talked here before, but the home brew competition at Brewers in PA has done. I'm sorry, I gotta reference it, even though what we've talked about earlier. But that was a cool little thing they did. I think it was 5 different areas they did in PA, and they got the home brewers that won each of those areas. I think it's 15 of them are going to Rusty Rail on October 16th for the championship to get a belt and to be crown best brewer, home brewer
Yeah.
in PA.
Kudos to them, man.
Yes.
Putting on that platform, allowing these home brewers to, go out there and showcase their stuff.
Yeah, so that's going to be great to see, and who knows, it might be another brewery opened up. We got 400 plus in PA right now, and it's continued to grow. Now, I've been to several. You guys have been to several, and we all did. We go to these different locations.
Yeah.
Kevin, you just were up in Cheers Bar, the
Yeah.
original,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
where everybody knows your name.
That was awesome. It was.
And when you travel, make sure you visit these little local establishments. Do a Google search and say, hey, craft brew houses or craft whatever in your area, and go stop and visit them. Like Kevin said, sometimes they got the best beverages, the best food.
I'm going to look up after break the name of the one bar we went to, Cindy and I. We went to a local craft place, and they were out of food, so they recommended us to go across town. And the lady's like, well, you're going to walk through a bad section. You're going to go over a bridge. You're going to take a left. And then you're going to walk into something you're not used to seeing. So we did it. We walked over there, and we walked in, and I'm not even exaggerating when I say this. The bar initially was segregated. There was a gang in the back of female, I won't mention, there was a group of others, 4 or 5 different, and then all of a sudden we started singing karaoke, and everybody was one. And that's what a hometown,
Yeah, it brings that
Places.
feel. Yeah.
and it was so, I don't know, it was special to be there. It was special to see it, and
I'd have paid to see you sing karaoke,
well, I
Kevin.
don't sing karaoke. I did the karaoke bingo, they called it. So I sang in between the little scripts. But, you hit it. It doesn't matter where you go, what
Yeah.
state you're at.
Check
Little-
them out.
A little bit of craft beer, a little bit of music brings everybody together.
Hey, we're not sticking to only craft beer either. I mean, instead of buying that bottle of Jack D or Captain, whoever you want to call it,
Go check out your local
check out your
craft
local
stuff,
distilleries as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Wineries, cideries, meaderies, whatever you want.
Yeah, and that's-
Support the smaller.
The small independents. That's kind of what when we
Independents.
started this. That's when we said just the pour, even though we focus on beer because that's what
Right.
we like. But we left it to pour because we realized there was more than just craft beer places. There's distilleries, there's cideries, there's wineries, there's meads.
Yep.
When we get into the ciders and the wines, that's where we'll have to bring the wives in because all of mine, they're the ones going to have to tell us what they taste because they're not in my forte.
I've been learning about that too.
Have you?
I've been learning about the wines as well.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we got some news. I think we're coming up in the season for Oktoberfest.
We are.
Dude, they put that shit on the shelf in end of July.
Are you serious? It's kind of
Oh,
like
my
the.
goodness.
Is it kind of like the Halloween stuff coming out right after July 4th?
Yeah.
Shit.
Christmas trees and
Christmas trees coming out in August.
yeah.
I gotta tell you though, ever since we started this shit, I like it set me straight on a huge misconception that I had. Before this, I thought all Oktoberfest beer tasted like pumpkins, and I was on that
Oktoberfest. Yeah.
It's not.
Oh, it doesn't?
No. I'll be on that with you, Ben, because I just assumed, and we know what assumed can mean, right?
You and me.
Yeah. That it was a pumpkin beer.
Yeah.
It's not pumpkin. It is a Marzen, which is a type of lager.
Very delicious, by the way.
And it is very good. I actually just had one the other night from Gear House.
Okay.
It was the last of the 4-pack, and that's probably been in my fridge since last October.
But I gotta say, I'm going to Germany, but I'm gonna miss Oktoberfest by one freaking week.
Oh man!
Thanks, Chelsea.
If you're gonna, oh Jesus!
I wasn't even gonna bring that up.
That's right. We got a wedding coming up. So you got a daughter getting married,
I do.
Kevin.
I do. My little angel princess.
October 22nd.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
We're all gonna be drunk that night, right?
We will be.
Should we?
Now,
Should we podcast the freaking a wedding?
Hey, if the old man's footing the bill for that one, we ought to line up. the
Standing
craft
over in
beer.
this corner. could be a UC. What is it? UCF or whatever the fight.
UFC.
UFC.
UCF, isn't that a football team? University of Central Florida.
Oh god.
Oh,
Speaking of, there's football coming up too.
oh yeah.
You guys are all into
It's
that.
already
man.
started.
Oh
yes.
yeah. A couple
So-
weeks away.
Yeah.
So Brett, I'm jumping back to another sport. I made a bet with my son, or a deal. We're going to try to hit every stadium in the next couple of years for baseball.
Major league or minor?
Major.
Okay. Go say minor. You're going to be
Minor
traveling
league,
more than
holy
you're
shit.
going to be traveling a lot. But dude, that would be a bucket list, man.
That's
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest sports fan, but I truly enjoy going out.
I that would be a huge bucket list on me to because baseball is my forte. I love baseball, even though my Yankees suck right now. Thank God they built that huge lead at the beginning of the season because they're going to choke it the rest of the year.
I tell you what, them O's are coming,
I tell you what, the Orioles do look pretty freaking good.
and they even sold at the deadline.
Yeah, they are. They got rid of their mainstay guy.
Yeah.
And a closer.
they are better than Boston. And anytime, so yeah, being a Yankee fan, I don't care if they finish like 40 games under 500. As long as they finish ahead of Boston, I'm happy. And yeah, they are playing your Mets as we record tonight.
They're winning, by the way.
Who, the Yankees?
They are 3-0. Scherzdal gave up.
They'll
some hits.
choke. They'll choke it up because they haven't played worth a shit.
Tell us how you really feel about him.
Mom and Pops just saw craziest comeback of the
Yeah,
Mets
they
season.
were. I
man.
watched the end of that
Holy
game
shit.
yesterday.
You know, Cindy, Mrs. Gladys,
Oh boy, now we're
We're-
going. Mrs. Gladys. So he
We're
must have
sit-
did something wrong.
we were sitting there, the first inning, the very first inning, get a brand new pitcher.
Major League debut. Poor guy.
Poor guy. And he was a little nervous. And he didn't do so well in the beginning. She gave it up on, oh, the Mets are going to lose.
Gonna say they hit bomb boom.
3 or 4-0 in the first.
Yeah, it was 4-0 by the second inning or third inning.
And I'm like, come on. But then it was like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It was damn good.
It was a good
Yeah,
game.
we had a little rain delay, and we went up underneath the cover and chilled out. And good time.
That's cool. So baseball's starting to wind down, but football's coming up. Dave, one of our earliest episodes, I think you had mentioned we were talking about Kenny Pickett
Yeah, Kenny Pickett.
Yep.
from
my
where?
guy.
Penn State.
Yeah. They spell it different, though. It's spelled P-I-T-T.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Speaking of Penn State, wasn't there just a kicker that just did like an 81-yard? You have to check that out. They just drug tested him.
The punter. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
the
punted
punter.
something 81 yards and got drug tested the next day.
Yeah.
Really?
That's
No
amazing.
shit. Yeah,
They got
do
tested
that.
for phantasm powder. So Pickett, is he going to start
No.
for your Steelers?
Yeah, they don't know. I'm going to give you my opinion. I don't know. The whole thing of it is they brought in Mitch Trubisky or Mitchell Trubisky, whichever you prefer.
Did you see his tweet from last decade?
from last decade?
Yeah.
No. You mean Mitch Trubisky?
Go ahead.
But anyway, they brought him in, and the whole reason for bringing him in is that they were looking for a replacement for Roethlisberger because he's gone, and they had 3 quarterbacks until unfortunately one of their quarterbacks was killed on a highway, so they ended up needing another quarterback near the draft, and I think the reason that they chose Pickett is because of the fact that he's damn good. All right, in my opinion, and a lot of other people have said that he is damn good, and they didn't want to let another Dan Marino slip past their fingers like they did with
In 1983.
yeah.
18,
Yeah, that was Dave's. They weren't even called the Steelers back then.
Steagles.
That was during the war. For crying out loud.
It was a real thing. It's a
Yeah,
real
it
thing.
was a real thing, of
thing.
course. It was during the war, though. But yeah, they missed the boat with Dan Marino. Marino was available whenever the Steelers, but Noel didn't want him, and I don't know what his thinking was. So I think that the big reason they picked him is because of the fact that he's good quality quarterback, and they needed one desperately.
They needed a good bag up, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, but the problem is he's starting to shine. He's starting to Trubisky because in his last game, he did better than
Yeah.
Trubisky. So
Yeah.
you have to think whether you want him to sit behind Trubisky, which he's doing better job than he is, or do you want him to start and just go with the flow and say this is our guy?
Kind of like us. You jump in, take your lumps.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
You guys are all Steeler fans.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
There are a lot of factors to go into the decision. I think both quarterbacks, even Mason Rudolph, I don't think he's going to win the job by any means, but all 3 of them, they fit the offense way better than what Big Ben did. He was a stature in the pocket for a few years, so I think you get that new offense working. Any one of them guys can succeed. I think Trubisky's going to get the job until about November, and then we'll see Pickett go in there, and then probably for the next, hopefully, 10 plus. He's the guy.
Yeah.
I want Brett to read this tweet from Mitchell Trubisky on December 27th, 2011 at 10:17 p.m.
Oh, yeah. This is something I like to do. I love to kiss titties.
That is what Mitchell Trubisky was known for quite a while.
And I bet he got ripped for that, didn't he?
Hell no, everybody loved him. What are you talking about?
Our old neighbor wouldn't like that shit.
Rodney Carrington, titties and beer. Titties and beer.
Let's get to beer number
What-
3,
what,
guys. I'm thirsty.
That was a long
What
segment,
old
fellas.
neighbor? You said our old neighbor wouldn't. Oh,
All right, so beer number 3. Beer number 3 is probably my favorite. It's I know those brewers pretty well. It's an Imperial Nut Brown Ale,
Yep.
and if I'm not mistaken, they're looking for a name for this beer.
Yeah, so
And we're recommending you guys to sign on to Central PA Pour and give us a shout and what you think we should name our beer here.
yeah, so this is our Imperial Nut Brown Ale, as Kevin said. This is the one that we actually featured on our home brew edition when
We
the
did.
3 of us bottled it on our back porch.
right.
I brewed it on Memorial Day.
Yep.
So this is one I think, Kevin, that we won't tell them where it came from. We
Nope.
just say Essex Home Brew Works brewed it. And I think you need to take this over to Germany.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
We have no brewer's notes on it. It's just going to be earthy, nice dark brownish color.
Yep.
You might get some flavors of a nut tone, and it's going to have a little bit of a dry finish as an ale should.
And we'll describe it as Imperial Brown Ale.
Cheers.
Cheers.
The top nut.
So this, you know what? We are looking for a name. So this is from us, the home brewing, Essex Home Brew Works. So we are looking for a name for this. So if you do have a name, please give us a email at centralpaport@gmail.com or write it under our social tags on Facebook, Instagram, or are we on Twitter?
That one's kind of
That
fell
was
because there
coming.
wasn't a
What the hell was that other one?
TikTok.
TikTok? What the fuck is that? I
Short
still don't even-
videos. It's for the goldfish of the world that can only pay attention for 6 seconds. And it works. It works. I tell you, it's addicting.
Keep swimming. Keep swimming.
Exactly.
That's why that license plate is in the back of my wife's car. Keep swimming.
You ain't lying. That's a good beer. That's a good beer,
What are you
guys.
tasting it? What do you taste?
It's. We'll see what Ben says.
Let's go around
Just
the
a
house.
real sweet malty note that finishes with a nutty flavor, and it's very good. Very, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is malty.
it is. It's a sweet. It's got a sweet taste to it. So it is a very smooth drinking beer, and it does have a little bit of that earthiness, the nuttiness to it.
It does.
It does carry an 8.2% ABV. That's where the Imperial Double comes from, or Imperial. I love it, and even though it is a kit, I think we did a great job. Like we said, we featured this on our home brew edition, which we might expand on that too in our upcoming seasons as far as home brewing goes, as we expand our knowledge and skill with some help of brewing beer, that we may start featuring some of that because we got a lot of good reviews out of it. They want more content like that. That was fun. But I think this is one, Kevin, you need to take over.
I'm going to go on the record, and my goal is to get our very first guest that we're going to try to get in again this segment, and let's brew a beer together with him
Brew a beer.
and let him walk us through
The process.
the process.
That'd be great.
And then, yeah, because I think, I'm sorry we missed the first half of making it, but I think this is one of our best ones yet.
You know what? It's one of our better ones.
It
The
definitely
first
is.
one that we brewed, that stout,
Yeah.
that was our first venture at brewing beer in the kit that my wife got me for Christmas. And that stout, as it sat in that bottle, after 9 months and I opened that last bottle, I'd have put that against a regular Guinness. It was really good. This is one of our better ones. It ain't some of the fuck ups that I had that I brewed without you guys. But
Yeah.
The problem with the first ones is we overanalyze. I mean, we had 12 pages of freaking well, we're going to do this, and then step
Yeah.
number 2 is this, and step number 3 is follow. And now we just wing it.
The
and
problem
it
is
tastes
we're
good.
we're drinking during the process, and by the time we get to the end, we're drunk. Well, at least I am.
I was going to say, speak for yourself.
Are we still in the beer news segment, guys? Or no?
We are.
Well, we
we've
can.
only got-
I can touch on it. I
I
mean,
got-
you want to go back to it? We're going back to beer news.
I got one in specific that I'm signing up for this week for me, Dad, some of the boys here.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
Liquid Hero Brewery, our last guest, they're hosting their second annual golf tournament Friday, October 14th at the Outdoor Country Club in York, PA.
And I think didn't he mention that was with For the Love of a Veteran,
It
which
does.
is an organization that I help out a lot with.
Yeah.
And what's the date of that?
Friday, October 14th.
Okay,
and
so-
as Brett said, it supports For the Love of a Vet, and our mission is to help those who selflessly protect us every day. We are here to give aid and raise funds for deployed troops and homeless veterans. We also aim to raise awareness and help in the fight against PTSD.
Yeah.
So, liquidhero.com/golf. Sign up for that awesome event. I'm signing up this week. Cannot wait for that. We'll see you guys out there.
Yeah, and speaking of For the Love of a Veteran, we are leading the ride the Saturday before that event that leaves out of the Bourbon Mill.
Yeah.
We participate in that ride every year, and my motorcycle chapter will be leading that ride. This past one, which was 2 weeks ago, as we were recording this, one of the gentlemen that received the shot for this PTSD was there to speak and how it saved his life. And that's what For the Love of a Veteran does. There's another one that we deal with called Roots for Boots that does a lot for veterans that are handicapped. So these organizations are all over the place as far as local. But by all means, check out Liquid Hero. They've done this in the past.
Second one this year. So, yep.
Yeah, so it's not only for a good day,
Yeah.
it's also benefiting a good cause.
It's a big deal for the veterans. I know, I'm a 10th Mountain man, and I'm on many chats with my brothers, and, I can speak for myself, let alone thousands of others. You might go 10 years and nothing bothers you, and all of a sudden you see one thing that just snaps that memory open. So it's never too late to get involved and help people. It
Yeah.
really isn't.
Yep, so make sure you check that out.
We are getting a keg sponsor, they call it. We're getting an advertising sign of the course for that one. Dad and I are. So look
Oh.
forward for that.
So, yeah.
I think we've got one more military-based thing on the beer news. You guys want to touch on that over there?
Yeah, go.
The Yingling thing, guys.
Okay. So Yingling revealed the world's largest QR code to honor our nation's heroes. It was planted in May of this year, and it's made up of live crops. It's the same code that is on the RWB cans. Do we have any of those cans?
We have one right here in front of us that
We do. There
And-
you go, Ben.
Oh, it's over here.
I tell you what, if you get out there on the internet and you look at this thing, the air shot and how they planted this, they planted it. So the plants grew in this little QR code that is on the side of this can. Is awesome.
Yeah.
That's freaking
That's cool.
That's cool.
That's a lot of,
Yeah.
thinking,
intuitive,
pre-planning.
innovative thinking, man.
And they said
Sure.
that QR code works. If you're in a plane and you're up there and you snap your QR code reader, it'll take you to the website.
Yeah.
That is awesome thinking. That is what you consider way outside the box.
I wish I had thought of it earlier. I'd have worn my shirt, my RWB
Yeah, that's true.
shirt.
You
been a
tell us
member.
about some of that stuff, Dad?
Well, I've been a member of that for, 10, 15 years. Organization that started out helping its fellow members. We do runs, we do community things, and it's pretty. It's overwhelming helping somebody, being able to help one person. Getting a phone call at 2 a.m. Somebody's not thinking properly.
Right. And that's where this PTSD and all this other
Yeah.
stuff comes in. Like you said, anything can trigger it.
Yeah.
I'm not a combat vet, so I can't vouch for it. I am a vet, but I'm not a combat vet. So I can't experience what that was. But, it doesn't take much. And I think we had mentioned this just about not just the craft breweries, but the local businesses. Every local business in your community, in one way or the other, helps support that community.
Yeah.
You know, the community helps the business owner support itself, but the business supports that community, whatever service they're providing. And in turn, the veterans in that area also are being supported as well. I know myself with my business, every year for Veterans Day, we give out free oil changes to our veterans and military personnel. A lot of places have since COVID-19 have done first responder stuff.
Yep.
So I think it's great that these local businesses, no matter what it is, help their communities in one way or the other to support each other. And that's what business is about. It's not about being this big monster corporation. It's about the local businesses that are supporting not only their families, but they're helping us provide a service to the community, a service, whatever, for veterans, first responders, or whatever. Everybody's important. When COVID came out and they talked about necessary, or
Essential.
essential businesses. Every business is essential to one person or another.
My biggest thing is to, like with the RWB, it's a very, very large percentage goes to the veterans. So you got to watch for that, you know,
Yes,
because some businesses are getting so big that
I'm
you
not
know,
even going to mention some of those names
yeah,
where you're going
yeah,
with this segment.
I'm not even going with it. But you know, RWB does a very good job. You know,
There's another one out there, the Napa, which is
Yep.
Napa does Intrepid Fallen Heroes, which builds hospitals to help out these veterans. 100% of their donations go back to the fund. There's nobody funded from that donation. Unlike some of the other, like Kevin just said, that maybe 10, 20% go to the fund. The rest go to help market and pay the CEOs and the board. But we're not going to go there. We'll keep that out of this. But that Imperial Nut Brown Ale that we brewed,
that's good.
I like it. I'm giving that a 4 or 5. I get pat myself on the back.
Don't break your
That was
arm.
very good.
It is very good. And Dave, I think you were like, I don't know. I'm not going to taste this thing, but because I made you taste it that night when we bottled it, and you're like, I don't want to taste it now. It's going to taste flat and nasty. It turned out pretty good.
It turned out pretty good. It did.
That's one of them I put under the
Yeah.
sneaky category or
Yeah,
stealthy.
It's stealthy. Like
Yeah.
Brooks Haymeyer said, stealthy.
Yep.
8.2%. You wouldn't even know that's an 8.2% beer.
Smooth as ever.
So we are looking for a name for it. And I do check. We do list these beers on Untapped under Essex Home Brew Works from time to time. We've brewed 7 of them. I think we've done a couple that I've did without you guys.
I think we 4 successfully.
Yeah, it's a very good possibility. However, by the time this episode is releasing, it will be Labor Day.
Yeah.
And I'll be camping again. And we still have two beers to brew. We have a Saison and a reattempt at a Kolsch. So that might become a Labor Day weekend brew. We'll see. I got some ideas for the Saison that you brought home. I think a lemongrass might be in the works for that.
Maybe all right.
What do you think?
Maybe okay.
Little lemongrass Saison?
It says on.
Well, you're not traveling to France, are you?
No. I'm going
Oh, oui.
Sunday morning. I head to California
Oh, Sunday. So you
from
so
top to bottom.
Top to bottom.
Yep.
Going from the north to the south, going to the redwoods to the desert.
I am. And
Are you going to catch a game in Dodger or San Diego?
Hell, what about Anaheim?
I know my goal.
Boo.
My goal is to run into the desert.
Run into the
Run
desert.
into the desert.
Hopefully you run out,
Literally
too.
Run. Yeah, hopefully I do run out.
Are you going to run in there? What was that? What was that movie?
Death Valley.
Are they running naked or something? I forget. I don't know. So you're not going to run in naked, are you?
You never know.
You'll get burnt where you don't want burnt.
That's a long haul out there to get your ass out of jail.
I gotta scare the scorpions away somehow.
Yeah, I listened to Brad whenever he was talking about. I think it was a PCT when he was talking about hiking that, and I just kind of 600 miles of
Pacific Coast
de-
Highway.
desert.
PCH.
PCH, not the PCP.
Yeah.
That's a
No.
fucking drug.
I don't know if
Yeah,
he was
not
talking
the
about
PCP.
drugs or what. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. No, he was talking about hiking hiking. I forget what states he would go through, but it's almost from the Mexican border up to the Canadian border, and you have to go through the desert. And it's just like 600 miles of desert, and I'm just like, you're doing this on purpose. No one is forcing you to do this. I mean,
There's a run there. It's a 125-mile run.
oh,
And one of my heroes, long ultra runners, Dean Carnazzi, he's done it multiple times.
Oh no.
And I'll never get there, but that's always a dream, just to step a couple of feet into it.
I know you guys. You run, and you've run with your dad a few times. I know you've asked me to come run with you. I said I might run to the end of my freaking driveway and wave bye to you, but I'm not running with you.
Dave, the old Google machine says the Continental Divide Trail. Is that it? No?
that could be Continental Divide Trail.
I started typing
PCT. Yes, that's it.
in CDT?
Now you see.
I don't know. I started typing in hiking from, I said New Mexico, and then Canada was the first thing to pop up. So.
Yeah, it goes from Mexico. It goes from the Mexican border to the Canadian border, but I can't remember. And I thought it was the PCT or
Well, that would PCT. I have no idea, but PCH would be the Pacific Coast Highway
Yeah, I've
because
heard that
that's also a motorcycle trip.
oh, okay.
Well,
this is
up Route 1 or where I think it's
Yeah.
called Route 1 up the coast.
does it go through? Does it go through the desert?
I have no idea. It goes up the
Okay.
coast.
Yeah.
Goes up the coast.
I'll get a correction on it for next time.
Yeah.
I'll come up with the correct.
Are you
letters.
going to hike it with him, Dave?
Hell no. I mean,
Hell no!
Oh hell no!
no. This is no. The best I could do is me drive along behind him. I was just,
Okay, you know what? We've conversed a lot. This was our season wrap up. Let's just go around and just kind of give a wrap up of your own. Ben, what do you think? What do you take away from season 1? Everything that we've done, where we started, and where we're at now, and where we're going to go.
We've talked to a lot of great people across the industry, and we've learned a ton of stuff, whether it's, potential technology improvements on our own side of things, or whether it's like, just a unique story from a certain individual or a group, a team, whatever. It's just been a great time so far, and it's been, 6-7 months?
Week after Christmas.
That was our first one,
We're
'cause
eight
you had
and a
that-
half months in.
You had that silly hat on that danced for you.
I did. I did. Even though they couldn't see it.
So this has been a great thing so far, and we're looking to keep it going. So thank you everybody for tuning in so far, and I hope you stick with us on this journey.
Yeah. Kevin, anything you want to take away?
Well, I'm going to start off by saying that I'm hoping Dave and I, or Dave and me, are a little bit more active, vocalizing, talking more.
And talking into the mic.
Talking into the mic. And
And we're working on remedying that.
I'm going to go off of what Ben said. Thank you to all of our clients and special moments, our education. But we have a whole lot more to come, and watch out every other podcaster, because we're gonna take this. We're gonna take it hard. And
We're
strong.
gonna make us famous.
We're gonna make us famous. David.
Dave,
yeah, I know you're wearing that out. I mean,
I haven't worn it out like that. I even fucking forgot about it, man.
yeah. Well, of course Ben had to bring it up, but yeah, it's been interesting, and like I said, there's just a lot of things that I've learned, and a lot of things that I have seen in some of the places we've gone to, some of the places I would have never gone to on my own, just
Right.
to do this, because I'm just not one to visit a lot of breweries, and I don't mind sitting here drinking the beer, and it's good. But it's different when you go out and you listen to the brewers themselves, and they talk about it. And there's a lot of pride in their shops. They when you go in and you talk to them, and you actually see what they're using, and they impress me. Just listening to them and the things that they do, and that's what I liked about it. maybe for next year, I have some ideas. If they're not too outrageous, maybe we can look into them.
Always.
I had some thoughts on some things that we can do that would be a little bit more outrageous than what we have done. But we'll have to see. You'll have to tune in to see.
Yeah, check us out. So
Just going off quickly what Dave said, it didn't matter, and my numbers are hypothetical or whatever you want to call it here, but it didn't matter if it was a $10,000 back porch brewery or a multi-million-dollar.
Right.
Everybody had the same story.
yep.
Funding doesn't matter because, they're in it for the beer and they're in it for the communities.
Yep. So just, on my end, wrapping it up, we started this journey with a stupid idea that I had. I talked to you guys about it, and, we brought Ben into the discussion, and Ben's like, oh, hell yeah, let's do this, man. So we did. We sat down, we talked about it from the get-go, what was our vision? Did we accomplish our vision? To a point. We're getting there. Our vision is expanding just as our palates have expanded.
Yeah.
The only downside that I have to this whole thing is it's taken away from our normal beer drinking nights that we've had on a monthly basis, and that's where this all started.
Yeah.
We started with monthly beer drinking nights, and it's kind of taken away because we ventured into this atmosphere, this venue, and it does take time. And it's not time that a lot of us have a lot to give, but it's enjoyable time. I'm getting to spend it with some great people. My three friends sitting at this table. We're chasing a dream that we all like. We like the craft industry. And like you guys have all touched on, and we talked about this whole episode, is we've met some great people. We've made some huge contacts. People that we can call on whim and just say, hey, I got at this thing. Can you help me? And just like they do with each other. They are more than generous with their time and effort with this. And we thank each and every one of our guests that we've had this season so far, for their time that they've dedicated to us to come and spend time with them,
Absolutely.
sit down, and learn it. They've been on this journey with us from the day one. They've learned with us and been very open to our learning journey in this electronic podcasting, digital, whatever you call it, because none of us have done it, and we've grown. I think we've gotten to a point, but we got more areas that we can grow in, and we're looking to grow this. So we are looking and asking our community, just like the craft beer, we're here for you. So be here for us and help us out. Subscribe to the channel, like Ben said. Share our stuff, like it. Get out and visit these places that we're mentioning and highlighting. I was told with this idea when I first started, we want to basically focus on Central Pennsylvania. And somebody asked me, why just Central PA? Well, when we started this, I understood why, because we had to go get the beer.
Right.
And that's the problem, is a lot of places don't have that distribution. However, with where we're going with this, is there are so many breweries, distilleries, wineries, meaderies, cideries in this central 5-county, 6-county area that we have got yet to cover. So we have an endless opportunity.
There's more starting up every day.
And more starting up every day, from home brewers to whatever. We are here to bring this information to you, and I think that's what makes us special. Not only it's 3 different generations, we are here and we've started something, and we're going to keep growing it, whether it's a different avenue, however we do this. So again, we thank everybody that has subscribed to us so far. Help us spread the word. Help us spread the word about Central PA Pour, the CPP Crew, and all our guests that we are bringing on, because that's the way we're going to continue. We're not just going to sit here and 4 guys talk about this, that, and whatever.
Maybe once in a while.
Maybe once in a while. We could. But who wants to listen to 4 old farts sitting here drinking beer, getting drunk, talking about beer and sports? I don't know. There's a podcast, isn't it? However, our focus on this is to bring the highlight to the industry in this area and focus on them. Meet the owners, the brewers, and whatever the stories that are out there, so you get to go out and see them, because that's the idea. And the more we can grow this, is the better. So, gentlemen, Ben, Kevin, Dave, thank you for listening to my stupid idea and making it a reality. And here we are, 17 episodes in to season 1. And we're going to start season 2 with a new vision, better vision, and hopefully grow this thing. And our cheers beer tonight. So any last comments before we cheers this out?
What a monologue that was. My goodness.
God, I told you, I got the fucking gift for gab. Man.
Gift of gab. Let's go.
So any last comments?
No,
Nothing.
you said it all.
I said it all.
And more.
And more. So our
Shit.
cheers beer out there is from Winding Path, one of our most recent episodes with Irina
And Jason.
and Jason, the head brewer. They were kind and graciously enough to give us their barrel-aged stout from 2021. She had two cans left.
Yep.
And we got them both. Wow. And we are going to cheers out with the Winding Path barrel-aged stout. So if you're out there, pick up a glass and raise one with the CPP Crew. And here's to season 1, and cheers to season 2. Let's all be bonded by beer.
Cheers.
Cheers.